Alright, so this part of the recording we'll see how to use drawing tools and the various shape tools to draw the drawings in Flash. As you can see on the stage, I got a canvas which is 500 by 400 dimensions. Okay. Now in e-learning career point of view, you must know how to draw things in Flash, because e-learning use a lot of scenes, in-house scenes or gardens, and so those kind of drawings. We'll see how to use multiple layers and create static drawings. Because once our backgrounds are ready, next lessons, once we start learning animations, we can draw animations on these backgrounds. Okay, so let me demonstrate you a few very basic things while we use drawings in Flash. Just gonna use this toolbar today to draw the drawings. Normally we use either line tool, shape tools, or brush tools very occasionally. But if you want to use line tool, the moment you select the tool, you will see the properties panel will change the properties, and you will see all the options for that particular tool. It relates to your Photoshop, which has options bar. In Photoshop, when we select the tool, under the menu here at the top, it shows the options for that tool. In Flash, the moment you select the tool, the options for the tool will appear here in the properties panel. Okay, so when I select line tool, you will see the paint bucket is off, because lines means just an outline, just a border. Borders don't have a fill color, which is color inside the borders. So for the line tool, you see the line color. You can select the color of the lines. We can change the stroke. Now Flash uses stroke as a technical term for outlines. Okay, like in CSS we use border, or in even Photoshop it uses an outline or a stroke as a word. So Flash uses stroke as an outline or a border name. So we can change the thickness of the stroke, styles of the stroke. So if I want a dotted line or dashed line, you select the style, change the thickness and the color. Let's do thick, and you can draw the lines in Flash. You can change the styles, and you can draw various patterns of lines using Flash drawings. When you select these lines, if you want a bend or a curve lines, we can draw the straight lines, and the top tool in the toolbar, which is a black arrow, selection tool. Believe me, this is the most magical tool in Flash, which does literally everything for you. So more than 60% in Flash, you are going to use only this tool. This is how useful it is. So I'm just going to use this selection tool and see how different ways which we can use it. I can move my selection tool on any edge of this stroke, and you see the curve under the tool, a small curve black stroke. That's the indication that at that point you can drag that particular line. So just click and hold, and if you drag it outwards, it gives you the curve stroke. You click and hold on it. When you push it upwards, backward, forward, this is how the drawings will change. Now that when you are on the flat surface or the borders of the line, when you reach to the end of the lines, what shape do you see under the cursor? It shows an angle, or right angle we call it. When you see that, at that point it can actually change the corner points. So if I click and hold at that point, I can actually extend my shapes like that. Even if I can go to the corner, and I can change like this. Now this tool, it works like this in terms of the round curves and the strokes, or even other shapes. So for example, if I just go and have a rectangle tool and draw a simple rectangle, I'm using a selection tool. If I go to the edge of the rectangles, I can bring it backwards, forwards. I can reach to the corners and extend them like this. Yeah. So drawing multiple shapes also is quite possible just by using a simple selection tool. Okay. The other use of this selection tool is if I want to select the part of this shape. For example, if I just want to select the outline of this polygonal shape, you can just double click on the outline and it selects the outline, which you can just delete. You can just click on the solid color once and you can see the white dots on it. That white dots is indication of selection in Flash. Okay, in Photoshop it was a marquee, remember, black and white dots moving. In Flash, marching ants. In Flash you don't see any marching ants as such, but you will see those white dots. You see those dots on the solid color as well as on the strokes, as on outline as well. So when you see that, that portion of the graphic is selected, and when it is selected, you can change their color if you want. You can click and hold on them, and you can drag it and move it wherever you want. So that's the meaning of selection in Flash. Now using selection tool, if I click outside, the dots disappear. This is equal to deselect in Photoshop. Means when your selection is active and you want to deselect, you don't have Control D here in Flash. You literally click anywhere outside apart from any other shape and you will see the selection will disappear. Now if I want to select the part of the shape, again I can use same tool, selection, click anywhere outside as long as it is not interfering with any shape. You click and hold, and look what I'm doing. I'm simply dragging it inwards, and wherever it's gonna intersect with my shape, it selects that part. When it does that, you can click and hold on that selection part. You can cut it out like this. So if you want to do small selections and separate them, you can drag, cut it out. Okay, same with the lines. You can select part of the line, click and hold, and drag and detach. The moment you click outside, that's deselection in Flash. So more or less, selection tool helps us a lot when we work with Flash. As we're doing this drawing, let me show you some other interesting things in Flash. To delete, I'm just selecting it by selection tool and pressing delete key on the keyboard. That's as simple as it is. When I use tools, let's say I'm using this oval tool, which is from the shapes. Okay. At the time, in your toolbar, you only see one shape, but there's a little black arrow, means there are some other tools inside. So if I click and hold on it, you will see rectangle, oval, primitive tools, polygon shapes, and so on. We'll see them one by one, but let me show you these top two. So if I use oval, I can either draw an ellipse or I can draw a circle the way I use my cursor. Okay, I'm going to change my stroke to solid. Either ellipse or you can use circles like that. Now in Flash, in the first page of your handouts I've given you in a drawing tools chapter 2, there's a term called cookie cutting. Now cookie cutting, what it means in Flash is when you have two pure shapes overlapping each other, they actually get merged in Flash. So even if they are on the separate layers, they will get merged. So if I'll click on the circle tool now, our circle shape, by double clicking on it, and if I try and drag it out, see what happened? It has actually cut that intersection part of the shape. This is called cookie cutting. They might ask you this in ACA. What does it mean? So it actually erases or deletes the intersection part of the shapes. Okay? But sometimes you might still need two shapes overlapping each other, and you want to avoid this cookie cutting, so-called. You can do so by using a group drawing objects. There's a different mode in which we can avoid this. For example, I'm just gonna undo it. Control Z is a normal undo in Flash. Let me just select everything and delete. Now here is this additional choice which is not there in CS3. It's only started from CS4. It's called drawing your shapes by enabling the group mode, okay, or object drawing mode they call it. So what you do is, if I want to still use oval tool and draw two shapes, but I don't want them to get mixed with each other, then you select the shape, and at the bottom of the toolbar, just above this magnet here, can you see this little square there? This window, extreme bottom right corner, just above the magnet, there's a square and little circle inside. Okay, it's there in every single toolbar in Flash CS4. Now what this tool does, if I just hover my cursor on it, it is called object drawing. Okay, when you click on it, you can see it is highlighted. It shows highlighted in the toolbar as well. With this mode on, I can draw the ellipse, but the moment I finish my drawing, you will see the outline around my ellipse. That outline is an indication that it is a grouped object. Now with this on, I can draw another circle here like we done previously, and that's a second group object. Now if that option was disabled of object drawing, then using selection tool, if I'll try and check it now, you see that difference? In earlier example, object drawing was disabled. That's why when I draw two shapes on top of each other, they merge. And if you try and separate, they will delete the intersection part. But now with the object drawing on, do you see each shape will act on its own? Okay, so remember this object drawing mode. In future, this might trouble you. So by mistake, if you draw sometimes and if you see an outline around your shapes, means you have object drawing enabled. So you can simply go there when the shape tool is there, excuse me, click on to disable it, and now if I draw it using selection tool, you can see that it started intersecting each other. Okay, so that's the concept of object drawing. Let me show you a few more things. I'm going to show you a very, very simple drawing in Flash, okay, just by using these basic shape tools. I'm going to create a simple smiley face, right? To use it, quickly, I'm going to change my stage color to a green shade. Okay, I will change the dimensions of my stage to, let's say, 300 by 500. That's too much. Let me change it back. 300 by 400. That's fair enough. So I've got a simple stage which has green color. The stage dimension is 300 by 400. And in my timeline, I have one layer, which is layer 1. Okay, you can double click on the layer and it goes in the rename mode. So when I'm gonna rename it, I will just change it to face, enter to rename the layer. And on this layer, I will use the shape tool, which is oval. If you want group, you can enable your object drawing. If you want to disable, it's up to you. So I'm just going to use on. My outline color is black, and the shape color, which is the color inside my circle, will be whatever, yellow. And using these options, I will draw a circle. Okay, so basically, I've just got my face with an oval shape tool. Okay, Now you can keep this layer as it is because later on we might do animations on them. So I'm gonna leave this layer on, and at the bottom of the layers, let's add a new layer, and I'm going to rename my new layer as eyes. For the eyes layer, same oval tool, and let me change the color of the eyes to, let's say, gray. Let me draw two buttons. One. Okay. If you want to use the exact shape again, use selection tool. This is your first eye. You can hold on your shift, click and drag. Sorry, is it control? Yeah, control and drag. That will give you the duplicate of your object. So you got two eyes. Okay, just by control and dragging the object. For safer side, when you start work, you can see I might do mistake and change my positions of the objects. So if you want to by mistake avoid all of this, best is once you finish your drawings, keep locking your layers by using the lock, and keep show and hide using the eyes. For example, if I want to hide the face, you can simply go to the face layer and click on that white dot which is just under the eye. Okay, so if I just click there, it hides the layer content. But if I click it on, it turns it back. If you click on the next circle which is under the lock, it locks the layer. Means if I select selection tool and try and drag it, I cannot move my contents. So for safer side, it's really good to keep locking your layers. Okay, so I'm gonna lock this. I'm gonna lock eyes. You can always unlock it just by clicking on it again. That's unlocking the layer, and that is locking the layer. Okay, let's have a third layer which is for a pupil. Same oval tool, this time let's say white color for the shape. They call fill color in Flash. Object drawing is on, and let me just draw a pupil here. Okay, control, drag, sorry, selection tool, so I got a simple smiley face. Okay, all three layers, face, eyes and pupil. Okay, and I can add another layer, fourth layer, lock pupil as well. This layer we can have a title. For the title layer, I'm just simply going to use a T, which is a text tool in Flash. The moment you select text tool, you will see the properties. You have any font you like, any font sizes you like. You can just hold your mouse on it. You can change the color of the fonts. Click on the stage ones and just type, same like Photoshop. I'm just going to type 24/7 CCTV in operation. Well, why not? You can just change the size, and there you go. Very simple graphic. If you want to add another creative touch, we got 4 layers. Let me lock title as well. Add one more layer, which is for shadow. On this layer, let's use same oval tool. Use any shadow color you like. And here at the bottom, I'm just going to add a simple shadow. There you go. Now, that's a simple drawing banner in Flash. Later on, once we learn keyframes, we can even animate it. So we can have the pupil of this character changing all the time, as if someone's watching, you know. So that's the next move. But let me finish this recording. I want you to repeat all these drawings yourself. But I haven't shown you something which you should know, which is saving your file and playing your animation. Now to save your file, you simply go to File menu, you click on Save, it will ask you where to save. I'm just going to select my K drive, Web, 1065 Flash, Smiley Face. Save it. Start working once I finish my recording, please. If I go to Web, 1065 Flash, here it goes. When you save your file, this is how your Flash document look in Flash. It will look like a red color with FLA icon. Now FLA means the original Flash document. In Photoshop, the original Photoshop document was PSD. In Flash, the original Flash files are FLA. But the way we don't use PSD files in the websites, we don't use FLA files for the website. Now there is a way in which you can create the file which is compatible with the web browser. Okay, and that file format is called Flash Movie, which is SWF, acronym for shockwave file, or just Flash Movie, you can remember. Now to create the Flash Movie, there is no long procedures like Photoshop. All you should do is open your FLA file in Flash, which is right now in my Flash, and all you should do is go to the control panel, and there is, do you see the test movie option? This is the only option you have to run. Because you're going to test your movie quite often, it's easy to remember the shortcut, which is Control Enter. So all you have to do is, when your document is here, just press Control Enter. Flash will run the movie and it will show you that movie in 100% size. Okay? If the movie has animation, it will show the animation running as well all the time. But once you test your movie, let me close the test movie straight away, and I'm going back to my folder. Do you see that? Wherever the FLA file was, if you test your movie, in the same folder, Flash creates SWF movie. Now, as a web designer, you need this file so that through Dreamweaver, we can embed SWF within your HTML pages. And when you save it, browser will show SWF movie playing with all its animations and scene and drawings and all. You see the file difference as well. Look, FLA is 31 kilobytes. SWF is only 3 kilobits. So to have all of this, it's only 3 KB, which no other softwares on planet can match. To have such a characters and drawings and rich colors with such less file size. Okay, so make sure you understand saving files. I want you to draw this, save it, and test it. So I want to see on every computer this SWF. Let me stop the recording.